Erik Ten Hag then showing himself to be a real disciplinarian at Manchester United. We saw that earlier on with what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Now, Jamie, it could have backfired, obviously, with Rashford on the bench. And we know in recent games he's been the new talisman, if you like. But this is kind of what you want to see from managers. They've got to take control of the dressing room.
Yeah, no, he set the benchmark, really, hasn't he, in terms of what he wants from as discipline. And, you're late for a meeting, you're not playing. And it might be a bit harsh on Rashford, and he said he overslept, but he's coming down hard on the players, and I think that's what they needed. He's trying to change the mentality there. There's too many players that weren't understanding what it was like to play for Manchester United and what you needed to be successful. And I think finally Manchester United have got someone in charge who actually is the real deal, and you can see that in the performances now. You can see it from the players. They're all playing for him. And look, Rashford has been different class. He's been a different player since Ten Hag took over, and it ended up working for him. He left him out, and he comes on and scores a really good goal. And I've been so impressed of what Rashford's done since last season, because I watched him last season. Cass, honestly, he was awful. I mean, he looked like he just didn't want to play. He looked like he hated football. And I was watching him play, and I actually felt for him. At Old Trafford, he just didn't look like he wanted to be there. Was completely disinterested in playing for Man United, and then this season, completely different player, and it's good to see.
Jamie, you've had a number of managers in your career, so
Too
have
many,
I.
Cass. Seen a lot.
Some managers are okay with slightly late.
Yeah.
Not all of them are.
Yeah.
You're out the team. Some say, okay, sit down, just carry on with the meeting. But if you're regularly doing it, it's obviously a problem.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite twofold. This is, I've had managers who have just been fine. Just sit down, and two other players, that they get on with it and do the meeting and don't hold a grudge. Now, there's no non-negotiables at Manchester United. It's quite clear. So I understand from Ten Hag's point of view, but there are varied opinions on this from managers, isn't there?
Yeah. No, I've had managers where lads have walked in late, and you're just like, I'll fine you. There'll be a fine list.
Yeah.
Get a fine. And let me tell you now, Man United have got a fine list for team meetings and being late. There'll be a fine for it. But he's took it into his own hands, Ten Hag, to make a point and say, no, I'm going to leave you out. Now, we don't know how late he was. He might have missed the meeting completely. So, and then there's late, and then there's not turning up at all. If he's overslept, he might have completely
And you don't know if he's done it before. So this is like the number.
Exactly. So listen, the last thing he wants to do right now is leave Marcus Rashford out. Yeah. He must be, he must pull him and say, Marcus, I need you. You can't be late. I need you. He's an important player for us. And he was itching to put him on. I think, the way Man United were playing, he needed to put Marcus Rashford on, and he did, and he had an impact on the game. But I like it because there obviously has been a change of mentality in the dressing room and how it's run at the football club. And Ten Hag is being strong, and I think he's handled every situation so far with the Ronaldo stuff, with the fans, with Rashford and getting players back on side. I think he's dealt with everything absolutely spot on.
He is making big calls. Something that we talked about a little bit earlier on was the fact that Luke Shaw has now been preferred as the centre-back partner to Rafael Varane currently at Manchester United. This is it. This is what I want to ask you about Harry Maguire, because we had a text in earlier from Max in London who's asked Jamie, would you take Harry Maguire? And he's added Jordan Pickford because his future at Everton's up in the air as well. You'd take both straight away?
Absolutely, yeah. Give me
this January, you'd go get them in now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, we need a replacement for Lloris. He's been a great servant to the football club, but he does make too many mistakes, and I think eventually we are going to have to replace him. Jordan Pickford, absolutely. Give me Pickford now. And Harry Maguire is better than what we've got. He's not playing at Manchester United. If a left back's playing at centre half and you're not featuring, then Maguire's got to be looking at saying, I want out. So Martinez is going to come back from the World Cup with Argentina, and he's going to come back. So Harry Maguire's going to go even further down the pecking order. So for me, Harry Maguire's got to look to get out of there. I'd have him at Tottenham. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. All
right, then. Manchester. By the way, Ryan's just been in touch. He says 45 minutes isn't harsh in terms of dropping Marcus Rashford, he says. The players will be laughing now, knowing they can turn up late and they'll only be dropped for one half. Ten Hag, he says, has lost all credibility for me. They're all going to walk all over him, so says Ryan, who's been in touch.
It must be sarcastic.
I don't think it is. I think he's being genuine, is Ryan.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.